Good morning, all you career climbers. Good to see you this morning. It is Tuesday, September 22nd. I hope you've got your brown liquid drugs in your hand and are ready to kick off another Career Therapy Live with this guy every weekday at 8 a.m. Central Time. All right. We're mixing it up a little today. I've got a guest who will be joining us. She was actually recently on the podcast, so if you haven't checked out her episode, I'd highly recommend heading over to YouTube, Spotify, or iTunes and checking it out. Her name is June Calaroso, and she is absolutely amazing. She is starting her own coaching practice and was recently approved by LinkedIn. Yes, you do have to apply to be on LinkedIn Live. She was recently approved and has lots of questions about live streaming. And hey, I've been fumbling around in this technology for a few months here now, so might as well have a conversation about it and see what we can find. This conversation will be helpful for anyone who is in the job search, looking to put their content out in new, unique ways. Anyone who's a career coach who also would like to, build their brand online. And really anyone who's just trying to experiment with new, fun technologies and see what that next new, shiny social media thing is. So I'm going to bring her on right now. June, welcome.
Hello.
Good morning. How you doing?
Oh, I have my liquid drugs ready. Should we cheers?
There it is. I love your cup. Cheers. Filled with June all day.
All day, every day. No days off.
That's awesome. Did you do that with Zazzle? Where'd you get that cup from?
No, my friend. She's actually a nurse. And
oh, really?
She started a side hustle by
so cool.
starting her own crafting business.
What?
She's doing really well, too.
That's fantastic.
And she doesn't even really need the money. She's just doing it for the hobby and just to give back.
That's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best way to go. Well, I'd love you to sort of give us a quick rundown of who you are and how you got to be doing what you're doing today. And then we can jump into live streaming chat. Sound good?
Sounds perfect. So
right, tell us about yourself.
Well, obviously, we've been through this already through the podcast interview,
yeah.
which was just last month, which is crazy.
I know.
And I remember you asking me questions about how I deal with comfort. What did you say? Comfort expanding moments. And this is another moment of mine.
Cool.
That I'm experiencing with you. But I'm June, and I have been spending the last 5 years in recruiting in tech. And like millions of other professionals, I was laid off due to COVID back in April. But to sum everything up, I've always been passionate about coaching. And I took this opportunity to really do some soul searching during the first couple of months of my layoff. I was really being experimental, and I continued doing what I do best, and that's interviewing people within my network. And then started being really creative and creating my own content. And then weeks after I got laid off, people started reaching out to me. Oh, people were always reaching out to me for help with their resume, with networking, interview coaching. So because I can't go back to work anytime soon because of my children, and I'm not only a business owner, but I'm a wife, I'm a dog mom, cafeteria lunch lady, teacher assistant. So I took this opportunity to really invest in myself and finally launch the business that I've always dreamt of launching. And now I'm excited because we can go live on LinkedIn, and I literally just applied less than 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a pretty sort of mysterious approval process. You kind of have to click all these random things, fill out this application. I know I recently submitted one for the Career Therapy business page to see if I could start posting lives there, and I'm still waiting to hear back. I think I did that end of last week. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting magic box that you kind of have to apply to.
A robust application process. And I know that I have like some insights because I know people within the industry. I mean, I'm in Silicon Valley, but there's actually people behind the LinkedIn application process, screening process, where they actually look at different things as far as like your content and making sure whatever content ideas is compelling to your audience.
Interesting.
And honestly, Martin, I didn't think I was going to get approved. I thought I needed to have like a certain following, like at least 10,000 connections. But this is just proof that you just need to go out there and like follow your fears and just apply for the jobs that you are curious about, because you never know what could happen.
That's so true. Yeah, I had no idea. I kind of did it on a whim. I was like, oh, this thing exists, and I just clicked it. And I think honestly the reason I did it to start was I was trying to do videos on my phone and post to LinkedIn through the LinkedIn video poster on their app, which you can only do on the app, and it's terrible. It's like so bad.
Yeah.
And it would keep like losing the audio, and I'd record things and like it would post without audio, and I was like, you know what? I'm done with this thing. I'm just gonna apply to the live stream. So now that you've got access, I saw you posted about it, and then we started talking. What's been the sort of internal experience for you now that you're allowed to go live?
I've been only like honestly averaging about maybe 4 hours of sleep.
Yep.
My mind is just like, I already have at least like 6 people booked. I have so many ideas.
Nice.
And
are you doing interviews? What are you doing on it?
What I'm going to do? I'm going to do a bunch of things.
What are you planning?
I'm
Cool.
possibly doing like, I think I'm going to go live twice a week.
Okay.
And then obviously doing something similar to you where you're sharing job tips to job seekers. So I'm thinking of having theme days. But then obviously also too, I'm a passionate storyteller just like yourself. So my mission of this live is really sharing an experience for my LinkedIn community and sharing stories of perseverance, of grit. I have a lot of people within my network that have non-traditional backgrounds in tech that have very successful careers in tech. So I want to share their stories to really motivate job seekers that you don't need a degree to land the job that you want. It's all about how you market yourself as far as personal branding on LinkedIn, your resume, of course, interviewing, and as well as just showing up in confidence and just continuing to I mean, one of my candidates that I've hired at Google, he's someone that I want to have on the show. He interviewed at Google 3 times, got rejected. And it was the time that I was his recruiter that he landed the job at Google. Nice. And he didn't have a technical background. He came from like oil and gas.
So what was different when you were his recruiter? What did you do differently than his other times through?
I coached him through the process. I like the thing I love about recruiting is a lot of recruiters don't interview prep their candidates. It's like more like a transaction to them. But for me, the thing I love about recruiting and coaching is I get to impact that person's journey and giving them, like being their advocate and giving them a fair chance at landing the dream job that they want. I probably had multiple calls with him as far as interview coaching him, walking him through the process as far as how he actually interviews. It's very long process at Google. I mean, you probably know this, but setting him up and that's part of what's great about being a recruiter is you are right there in the front lines talking to the hiring managers. And this is why I love recruiting is I get to learn about different roles in the industry. And that's how I actually got really curious about marketing and social media, because at my last role at Wish, I was like hiring for all of the creative teams. But long story short, I walked him through the process and had very multiple conversations as far as interview preparation for each interview. Basically, kind of like first interview is just a casual conversation with the hiring manager, and then 2 different on-site interviews. So coaching him through the process and giving him the expectations of what kind of questions that he needs to prepare for. And I think that's what did it.
Nice. And as we're talking here, I'm just going to jump ahead real quick
Please do.
into technical tips and tricks for live streaming. So I can already tell there's one thing that we're experiencing right now that tends to happen on live streams, especially when you are doing live streams with other people. I think there's a lot of different ways to live stream, and obviously I'm more of an experimenter than an expert, but one of the things that happens very early on when you start live streaming is paying attention to audio, just because that is such a either it's good and it falls into the background and no one thinks about it, or it's not so good and it's very distracting. And so actually we're in a moment right now where your microphone is being
Muffled.
it's being not even just muffled, but it's being the microphone is being touched by your hair. So every time you're moving, every time you're doing something, it's popping and clicking and doing a bunch of it's picking up your hair more than it's picking up you. And so these are the things that as you start live streaming, you start realizing like, oh no, as the host of the live stream, what do you do? Like, how do you bring it up? How do you mention it? Like, how do you like maybe put it in the chat, to the private chat? So if you're looking at, we're on a website called StreamYard, and StreamYard has all sorts of different stuff, and I'll share my screen so folks can see it. And so on the right-hand side here, you can see any comments that are happening. We don't have any comments right this second. You can see banners where you can add in stuff like go to careertherapy.com. You can see all the branding stuff and all the overlays. You can change the color of our names. You could change the look and feel of the names there. You can add logos, which I don't have any logos right now. I can put overlays on and take them away. And then we also have like those, which everyone sees in the morning. And then the background. So if you don't have a background, it's just this dark background here. And so you can add in these as well. And so there's also a private chat. So I could be like, hey, this is going so great. Thanks. And that'll just go straight to you. And, so just kind of breaking down what the behind the scenes looks like a little bit for live streaming there. And one of the first things that I did when I started live streaming was get one of these suckers. Yeah. This was my girlfriend's. I have another really nice one in the other room. But yeah, I mean, you don't really need a super expensive one. I think I actually started just using the headset like you are, and then switched over to this when I realized like audio quality matters so much to audiences. Mm-hmm. Do you have a microphone? Do you have that kind of stuff laying around?
I think I have something similar to yours.
Oh, cool. Yeah, this is like a fold-up travel one.
I just haven't had the time to set it up, but mm-hmm. I'm definitely I want to make sure I have all of my ducks in the row before I go live, which will be actually next Thursday.
Cool. That's awesome. All right, everyone go subscribe and follow her so you can see her live on Thursday. And I will say, like, getting all the ducks in a row, I think that's one of the things that scares people so much about live streaming is like, oh no, I need this to be perfect, right? And I definitely did not, if you go back and look at some of the early ones, have my ducks in a row. I honestly didn't even know what the hell I was doing. I had 2 separate live streams that I would do every morning I started. I did a live stream about Stoicism where I read the Daily Stoic every day and reflected on it. And then that one would end after a half hour. And then I would close the live stream, open up a new live stream on LinkedIn and do a live stream about careers. And I realized very quickly that there was this like real energy crash. And then I had to like dig myself out of a hole. And then I merged the 2 and they were an hour long. And then I got some feedback from folks who were like, maybe just make it a half hour. And I was like, all right, I'll do that. That's a little bit more concise. And so it is always what I find so interesting about live streaming is it's always a work in progress. Like at one point I was trying to use a different camera. At one point I was trying to use my phone. At one point I was trying to use an iPad. I remember at one point I had an iPad here with the comments going. I had this streaming on 3 or 4 different channels. I had a phone on Instagram also live streaming. And then I realized very quickly, I was like, every single morning is just an absolute mess trying to get this thing set up because I have to take it all down afterward because my partner and I share this apartment and this workspace. So it's kind of funny how it all kind of is a work in progress. And so I built it up a lot, and then I kind of stripped it all back down as I was testing things. And now we're just sort of back to LinkedIn, YouTube. And I used to do Twitch on here up until last week, but honestly, it's not really the right content for Twitch, or at least I'm finding. And the Twitch comments, unlike LinkedIn comments, are all over the damn map. There's some interesting stuff. I had someone on here for an interview, and she didn't know where the comments were, so thankfully she didn't see them, but they were like real racist. And I was like, not towards her, just general trolling. And like the other day, someone was like going on about like Bibles or something, but I don't think they were actually like religious. They were just trying to troll. And so a lot of times they're just trying to get the live streamer distracted so they can feel like they had an impact on the live stream. And so that doesn't happen on LinkedIn or YouTube, at least not at the size or level I'm at. But it's interesting how even just like 2 viewers on Twitch, I'll be like in the middle of a point and be like, I have no idea what I'm talking about because I just saw something really insane in the Twitch comments.
Well, Twitch is like more of like a platform for gamers, right?
It is, and it's growing. Yeah. There's like a whole talk show kind of section to it, but you get a lot of the gamer comment sections, and that is for someone who's not a gamer and who doesn't really participate in those communities. It definitely is distracting. And so, maybe I'll dip my toe back in later on, but at this point I was like, it's better just to have the conversation.
Yeah. That's so funny though. People like do the wildest things just to like get a reaction.
It's so true. And so as you're getting ready for your live stream, where do you feel like you're most prepared and where do you feel like you need the most help?
Like I think, I mean, obviously as a recruiter, I had the benefit of having that experience of interviewing people. So I'm like super confident with that and comfortable with that. And as I shared with you from the podcast interview, when I got laid off, I continued to doing what I do best, and that's interviewing people and sharing their stories. And so I'm cool. I'm good with that. It's just all of the technical aspects. So one thing I wanted to ask you is right now I'm actually just on my webcam, but I do have a camera, a Canon camera, because I want the video quality to be really good. So it's basically so I've been watching tons of YouTube videos on why are you laughing?
Oh, I do the same thing. I've gone down that rabbit hole 100 times.
Why can't
and I'm like, I should go spend $5,000 on video equipment right now. That's a really good use of my time and effort. Yeah.
But this is like the thing that I don't want like the fact that I don't have everything set up to stop me from going live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people, thankfully, I have the connections that have gone live. They've encouraged me, just go live. Like you don't need all the bells and whistles. You have your laptop, but I do have the camera. All I need is actually the connection.
Yeah.
And figuring out how to actually stream from my camera. So do you have any suggestions on that part?
So a few things there. I've also thought the same way, and I was about to go buy like a $600 camera and get it all set up and lights and everything. And I realized that I want to be aware of where I'm at in the process. I'm trying to do a daily live stream, which means I need this thing to be, well, I guess not during COVID, but before COVID, I need this thing to be as mobile as possible. That's why I'm using the fold-up microphone, and that's why I just live stream from my computer camera. At one point, I was thinking about upgrading my computer, and the new iMacs have HD webcams. And I was like, that would be so great. That's worth the upgrade. Is it worth $5,000? Is it worth $5,000 to have a slightly better video? I don't actually know, especially when you're live streaming, everything gets put through, the whatever your broadband connection is, and might show up a lower quality on the other side anyway. So I ended up not doing any of those things. I ended up scaling back just to the microphone and the computer, because my goal here is consistency, not high quality. And if I do this for a 2-3 year period and it gets to be something that's really, has a following and people are actually paying a lot of attention to it, then I can go maybe a really nice camera or a multi-camera setup, or actually turn it into a legit talk show in 10 years if it's a real thing. But I think one thing that helped me with that was looking at Joe Rogan's first podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He just went to Spotify for multi-millions of dollars, but his first one has snowflake filters falling, and he's just literally in a room with the grainiest video and audio just talking. Or Gary Vaynerchuk's first wine library, those, going back and watching some of those things I think is helpful to realize whatever I'm doing is probably already more than I need to be doing. We have our names in the corners, that's pretty great. I'm the software to do all this streaming costs money, and the question is, how much do you want to invest in the technical side of things? Because you also have to maintain the technical side of things. I got no team here helping me set up lights and stuff, so anything I set up, I have to then also tear down every day and then reset up and then tear down, because we use my home for multiple different things, right? My partner's a painter, so we're always moving canvases around. I can't just have a light set up that just stays there, right? Even though I've got this great ring light.
We have the same ring light.
Yeah, I can't leave it. I can't I don't have a corner that I can just say, this is the live streaming corner and nothing ever moves. So until I maybe, move into a bigger place, have a space for this, it's a mobile approach, and I'm just running with it.
Yeah, so I'm actually in our formal dining room, and I usually do my videos in my office studio, which is right next to my kids' bedroom. And I knew that they're still sleeping, so I really was scrambling to get my light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was stressing out.
Oh yeah. When I was doing the thing where I had this doing Instagram live, I was setting up a tripod for that. I was setting up a tripod for other things. And honestly, those days, the quality of the stream was really bad because I was so focused on all the accoutrements that I had no idea what the hell I was saying. And what I've realized is that people care more that I am calm and sharing good insights and talking to them in the chat than they do, seeing my face in 1080p. And that, to me, is comforting, especially because honestly, we could just do it on Instagram live on our phones, right? I mean, I think you just hit a pretty high follower count on TikTok, right? Is that?
No, I did on LinkedIn.
Oh, on LinkedIn. Okay.
I'm not. Okay, here's the thing. It's there's just so many freaking social media platforms. And when I did get laid off, I'm I'm going to be a TikTok influencer. Yeah. And then I was just showing up on TikTok every day. And I'm this is not the most productive use of my time.
Yeah.
So that's when I was okay, I'm going to be a career coach. So I've been I'm only focusing on LinkedIn, and then repurposing the content that I share on LinkedIn on Instagram.
I think that's smart. That's really smart.
Yeah, I could do the whole TikTok thing, but I have been doing TikTok, but just for fun, with my little TikTok dances. I have been getting kind of creative I've actually written a few skits.
Nice. Can't wait to see those.
I don't know if I'm quite comfortable yet to share that on LinkedIn.
Well, someday when you do, I can't wait to see them. But the whole thing here, and I think this is kind of what your whole thing is, right? Build with June. It's the folks who are watching are along for the ride, and they are interested in seeing it grow and develop. It's fun to watch someone build something from scratch, and it's fun to watch to have seen like Lonely Island when they were on the internet before they were on SNL or something like that.
Oh,
And
God.
like it's fun to see those levels of someone's journey. And so I think it's important to just go for it. Let there be some bad episodes and like mess things up and just kind of fumble your way through it until you sort of hit a good rhythm. And then once you're in a good rhythm, you just kind of, you'll hit a plateau and then you'll go, wait a second, now what do I do? And then it's like, I'm constantly changing the branding here. I'm constantly changing the like look and feel and tweaking things. And so I think you're definitely starting in a good spot.
Yeah, and you're right. And this is why I love like my journey on LinkedIn. It really just started. I mean, I told you this on our interview. I only used LinkedIn before my layoff as a recruiting tool
Mm-hmm.
and promoting the companies that I recruited for. It was only this year that I actually started showing up for myself, sharing content that represented in me and my passion for building community and teams. And I have been receiving like my inbox is just like lit right now.
That's awesome.
I think I'm too old to say that, but like lit. Do people still say that? Lit? I don't know. Or it's on fire right now. Like for people that have been with me through the beginning of my journey on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been receiving messages saying, I can't like it's been such an amazing experience watching you like grow from like you said in our interview, from commenter to creator.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like comment to creator. Now like I'm gonna be like a LinkedIn live host. Like
Yeah.
that's like pretty like, I don't know. I've always dreamt about having my own like talk show.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be like a local DJ at my local radio station.
Yeah. I was on the news radio in college
I can
and
do that.
and I wanted to be it was funny. I was doing a journal and I was like, what did I want to be as a kid? And I was like, I remember distinctly waking up at like 6 a.m. every morning, going downstairs and putting on the news and being like, I want to be a news broadcaster. I want to wear a suit and go into the thing and blah, blah, blah. And then, life goes on. And I was like, wait a second, I'm basically doing that right
Oh my God.
now. It's so funny.
Can I share something with you really quick?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, let me bring it up. I think because as you mentioned that you said that you were journaling, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is important. This is why it's so important to journal your goals down and your vision. So like I'm a huge like believer of like manifesting your own thoughts into like
Mm-hmm.
reality. But let me oh shoot, my laptop is going to die soon.
No worries.
Um,
While
no,
you're doing that, I'll mention two things. One, always have your laptop plugged in during a live stream. And two, I actually had to buy an adapter and an Ethernet cable. And I wired my apartment with with two Ethernet cables in one in each room, because sometimes live streaming gets incredibly choppy
uh,
on the Wi-Fi. You're fine. You've been fine today, but I don't always remember to plug it in because it's like I'm so used to just being on Wi-Fi. But I do have a Wi-Fi adapter here that I try and remember to plug in on important conversations so I don't get choppy.
okay, my like laptop has just like my brain has too many windows open.
Sure. Pretty normal.
Hold on, let me see. But shoot. Where did it go? So when I got laid off, so I had a personal blog,
Mm-hmm.
and my personal blog was just all about integrating my tech career with motherhood and then building community. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, I've always wanted to do YouTube and share interviews of people within my own community and sharing their stories. And so when I got laid off, I just started writing all of my ideas down.
Nice.
And I had my overall, and this is actually what I put on my application for LinkedIn Live. So this is why I think it's really important as job seekers or anyone that has that is thinking of opening up a business, is really taking the time to write down your goals, your mission, your target audience. So let me share this screen real quick. Can you see this?
I can't see your screen, no.
Oh. Can you see this now?
Mm-mm. Are you hitting the share screen at the bottom of StreamYard?
Yeah. Oh, here it goes. Can you see this now? That's weird. Okay. That's okay.
Okay.
But
What are some of the things on your list?
oh, well, this is what I put. Okay, for my mission is to hold on, let me see. It says to build a supportive community during this pandemic of COVID-19. I'm hoping to connect with my own personal network to learn how they've been transitioning to this new reality of social distancing. And since there's been millions of people being laid off, I want to use my platform to encourage everyone to take this time to reflect and do some soul searching and really dig into their true passions. The silver lining in all of this is time. We have the opportunity to spend more time with our family while staying safe at home. We could also use this time to work on projects that we have always wanted to work on. And that's what I'll be doing for the next few months before I jump into my next career move. And then for my blog, I put my target audience, parents, specifically stay-at-home moms, millennials trying to navigate sudden career changes such as layoffs due to coronavirus, and small businesses. Because I've always had this entrepreneurial entrepreneurial mindset, and always supported small business. So I really wanted to use my platform to empower business owners because I know they're having a tough time. And then that's my target audience. And then I put like content ideas, weekly blogs, videos, Zoom interviews with local business owners, artists, creators, Zoom interviews with working moms, stay-at-home moms, and people within the tech career, and then offering ideas on strategy and job search and networking.
I love it. That's so great.
I've done that.
Yeah, that's the key thing. I've got the same
oh my God
thing mapped out right here. So that's exactly right.
We're like twins.
Well, I'm so excited for you to start live streaming. Keep it simple, keep it fresh. Well, keep it fresh is even too much pressure. Just keep it simple.
Oh no, and, I have some fresh ideas.
And I'm really excited to share it out when you do go live. And we're at the end of the half hour here. So I'm just going to say thank you so much for joining us, June. I'd love to have you back, once you've been doing it a little while and you want to give us an update on how it's going. And, anyone who is interested in connecting with you, how should they find you?
They can add me on LinkedIn, and then June Colaroso, and then my website is buildwithjune.com, and Instagram too, Build with June.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Martin. We'll see you soon.
Cheers. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on one of our interview episodes of Career Therapy Live. I'm super excited to be back with you all tomorrow. And we'll be talking about the Daily Stoic again and relating Stoic ideas to the job search. If you have any questions or you want to get in touch, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. And if you're looking for help, direct help with coaching, you can always find that at careertherapy.com. Thank you all for coming out today, and I will see you bright and early tomorrow. Cheers.